Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I keep you up to date with everything happening in the gaming world, and today it's been a little interesting. As of this recording, we still have not got a new Nintendo Direct announcement, which right now it's wildly believed that there will be a Direct tomorrow on the 26th. Maybe it got pushed back with everything happening in the world, and actually I am hearing that it may not happen tomorrow right now. That's at least what I'm hearing online. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll get announced right as I post this video. That's at least what I'm hoping. Nonetheless though, there are plenty of other things to talk about today, including another big PlayStation first-party exclusive maybe coming to the PC. Of course, Sony has released a few other PC games here recently, so that's not really too out of the realms of possibility. Also, some data miners did get a hold of the Resident Evil 3 demo and have discovered it may actually be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but it however may not be coming in how you expect it to be, so we'll discuss that here in just a moment. But first, let's go over some of the quick stuff. And yes, we do have another quick update on the massively successful Animal Crossing New Horizons. Over the last week, I've reported how Animal Crossing New Horizons has become the fastest selling Nintendo Switch game in both Japan as well as the UK in its first 3 days, but now we do have some numbers to back up this information. The Famitsu charts are reporting that it has sold 1.8 million physical copies in Japan, and no, this does not include digital sales. Now, insider Daniel Ahmad says that Animal Crossing has actually exceeded 2.5 million copies in Japan alone through shipment as well as digital, which is absolutely insane. For comparison's sake, Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 1.36 million within its first 3 days, and Animal Crossing is comfortably outpacing that. I still wonder about lifetime sales though for Animal Crossing, because for me personally, it is hard for me to believe it will outsell Pokemon Lifetime, but no matter what, Animal Crossing is off to a very hot start, and you know what? With everything happening in the world right now, I think it's a good game to escape in. So yeah, a big congratulations to both Nintendo and Animal Crossing for this huge achievement. Now, speaking of the Nintendo Switch, the Switch has now officially outsold the Nintendo Wii over in Japan, and of course we all know how massively popular the Wii was, especially when it came to the casual market, but the Switch has already surpassed the Wii in just 3 years over in Japan. That is a bit surprising, but yes, the Wii sold 12.75 million units in Japan, and now the Switch is at 12.81 million. That's great news, and I'm actually very happy about this. I like the Switch much more than I liked the Wii. I never really cared for the Wiimote or its motion controls personally, but the Switch console handheld hybrid, I just love the design of that thing, and they have made some fantastic games this generation. So I'm really happy to see it having such big success, and especially after the abysmal failure that the Wii U was. I am curious as to if the Switch can pass the Wii worldwide though, and that will be the big challenge as the Wii sold 101 million units worldwide. What do you think though? Do you think the Switch can actually outsell the Wii worldwide when all is said and done? And yes, there is more Nintendo news, but this next one may not be the greatest news for everybody. The Nintendo American repair centers have shut down for the time being, and this is actually a pretty common thing now with a virus going around worldwide with, certain companies, they're shutting things down, and, completely understandable, by the way. Of course, many Nintendo fans have experienced stick drift with their Joy-Cons, and Nintendo offers free repairs there, but for the time being, if you need your stick drift repaired, or even something else, you're kind of out of luck for the time being. I myself actually just sent my Joy-Con in for repair about 2 weeks ago, and if you have sent in yours in here recently, and they haven't checked it out yet, it might be some time before you get that Joy-Con back. Now, if you did just send it here recently, like in the last few days, from my understanding, they will just reject your package and send it back to you. At least that's from my understanding. Nonetheless, though, with this pandemic happening, it's understandable for these type of operations to temporarily shut down, but I know it may be a bit of an inconvenience for some people, but that's just how it is right now. Now moving on, this may be a big one here, but once the Resident Evil 3 Remake demo came out, of course data miners got a hold of it, and something really interesting is happening here because there has been a reference to the Nintendo Switch where it notes to not turn off the Nintendo Switch while auto-saving. Of course, Resident Evil 3 to this point has not been announced for the Switch, or at least yet, so why is it referencing the Switch at all? Could there possibly be a Switch port to be announced soon? I mean, all the more reason to have a new Nintendo Direct to clarify things like this. I mean, I'm just pointing that out, Nintendo, but nonetheless, insider Daniel Ahmad decided to clarify what exactly is happening here. See, apparently Capcom is exploring the idea of bringing Resident Evil 3 Remake to the Switch by cloud streaming. And the thing about that is that it's not really too far-fetched. The reason I say that is because Capcom did something very similar with Resident Evil 7. In fact, they did put Resident Evil 7 on the Switch through the cloud, but it was only available in Japan, I believe. This never actually made it to other regions, unfortunately, so I can't really say if it worked well or not, but if Capcom once again is looking to port a game over to the Switch through cloud streaming, they either must have had some success doing it, or they possibly learned a lot from it. All I can do though is speak from my own experiences, and I know xCloud, the Microsoft game streaming service, works fantastic for me. I've used it on my phone extensively by this point, and it runs great. So if Capcom can do something similar here with Resident Evil 3 on the Switch, that would be fantastic. And yes, I do know having a local port would be much better, but however, and this is just me, but I would rather have a game streaming option for Resident Evil 3 than to not have it at all. I mean, I'll be playing it on a different platform anyways, and I'll likely be playing it on the Xbox One X, just because these games do look fantastic on an OLED TV, but for Switch-only users, I'd be happy to see them get the chance to experience it for themselves. And hey, if it turns out to be a success, who knows, more developers might try porting some big games over to the Switch as well through game streaming. We do know that game streaming is becoming more of a reality over time, so could we see more big games come over to the Switch in this way? Of course, though, nothing is confirmed as of this moment. The only thing we know so far is that Capcom is exploring the idea to stream Resident Evil 3 to the Switch. Let me know though, do you like the idea of big games like Resident Evil 3 coming to the Switch through game streaming? Or would you rather just have a local port or nothing at all? Let me know in the comments below. Now moving on, and this next one is really interesting because there may be a possibility that God of War is coming to the PC platform. Before we start talking about this though, I do want to emphasize I'm not confirming anything as of this moment. This is purely speculation for the time being, but God of War is no longer hosting the Only on PlayStation tag on their official website. And the thing is, we do know that Sony is entertaining the idea of bringing more PlayStation games to the PC platform. We saw Death Stranding come to PC, we saw Detroit Become Human, and even Horizon Zero Dawn, so God of War just suddenly losing this Only PlayStation tag could be a hint to what's to come. Now, could this just be some kind of mistake, or was it done on purpose? That really is the question. And that's the thing. Something very similar happened with Death Stranding and it not having this tag, and at the time a lot of fans just kind of brushed this off as no big deal, but you know, that did end up coming over to PC. So could the same thing happen with God of War? Theoretically, yes, it could end up happening. Now, granted, there was a lot more evidence and clues surrounding Death Stranding and it coming over to PC than God of War. In fact, I was 100% certain that Death Stranding was going to come to PC, and I'm not really 100% certain that God of War will be coming to PC, or at least as of this moment, but I do think it makes a lot of sense. I don't believe that Horizon Zero Dawn is the only first-party PlayStation game planned to come to PC. I don't believe that at all. The guy who originally leaked that Horizon Zero Dawn was coming to PC, Anton Loganov, said that Sony was hinting that all Sony games was going to come to PC. Now, I don't necessarily believe that all Sony games will be, but I am in the mindset more is to come, and God of War would be the perfect fit here. It's a game that's been out for a few years now. They are going to make a sequel for God of War, and by enticing PC players, it could get more people interested in PlayStation 5 and its sequel And it's likely not selling a ton anymore on the PlayStation 4 anyways, so why not bring it over to the PC and maximize its sales even more? Even the God of War director Cory Balrog has said he would love to put God of War on PC, but it's not necessarily his decision. But even then, and I know certain hardcore PlayStation fans hate the idea of PlayStation games coming to PC, but really this is great for everybody. PlayStation will be more successful by expanding their user base, and like I said before, it could entice PC fans to even purchase a PlayStation 5 console in order to play the God of War sequel. That does seem to be Sony's strategy after all. They don't seem to be taking the Xbox route where they release their first-party games day one on PC alongside their console version, but rather it seems they're going to be doing more timed exclusivity. There's nothing wrong with that either, but I do think that God of War does make a lot of sense for PC. And hey, it was already on PlayStation Now and available for PC fans there for a short time anyway, so why not make it local and just let fans buy it and install it on their hard drive? And for real, God of War would look absolutely stunning on PC. I would love to see it personally. God of War is an amazing game, so I would have no issue rebuying it at all, again, on PC. Regardless though, what do you think? Do you believe that God of War will come to PC, or do you think this is no big deal and it's just some kind of error or something like that? Let me know in the comments below. Now there is one last thing I want to talk about real quick, and that's some kind of partnership between Valve, HP, and Microsoft for a next generation virtual reality headset. This is up on Steam right now, so you can actually follow it on there, but HP is describing this new headset as the new standard for VR headsets, and it's supposedly a successor to the HP Reverb. I haven't tried that headset out for myself, but I do find it interesting that all three, Valve, HP, and Microsoft, is working on this headset together, so this might actually be worth paying attention to. Valve especially clearly knows what they're doing when it comes to VR, and I'm interested to see how Microsoft is involved in this as well. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.